All Elite. Because I can't even call it wrestling anymore. Look at this clown. Look at this clown.
You were there, Tommy.
He looks. I call him a pencil neck. Look, his hair looks like an eraser. He literally looks like a pencil. And Tony, if your neck hurts that bad, why are you turning your head, you jackass? Oh my god.
I can cut a promo, baby. I can sit right there if you want a Dusty Rhodes promo. That's right, Daddy. I've wined and dined with kings and queens. I feasted on alley and pork and beans, Daddy, if you will. I can do it on
Ric Flair. Woo!
Little bit of flair. Look at that, man.
10 pounds of gold, baby.
Look at that belt, bro. Look at that robe, more importantly. Now that's a robe.
Yeah. Dave LaGreca, that is a robe.
Yes.
That crap that you have on.
Fuck Dave LaGreca.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast. I'm Yankee T, that's Rebel B. If you're watching on Twitch and YouTube, welcome y'all in. If you're listening to this wherever you get your podcasts, we appreciate all your continued support. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe so you can be notified whenever we go live and post. Man, Brian, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I am saucy, Yankee T. I am saucy, and it's going to get even saucier as we have Clash at the Castle taking place tomorrow.
Is that because your Boston Celtics are about to sweep the Dallas Mavericks?
18. Just go ahead and hang the banner. 18 is coming.
I mean, you got your light up, I hope. Your good luck light. Your bat symbol.
It's on.
The beacon of light.
Beacon of hope and light.
Let's just hope it can get Jason Tatum to play like he ought to.
Yes, I agree 100%. 100%.
But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a jam-packed show for you tonight. We're going to kick it off with Clash at the Castle.
Clash at the Castle.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching with us live, that graphic of Cody and AJ, it's pretty badass.
It is badass, and AJ still has phenomenal hair, but he's like somebody's ex-boyfriend. That's what he looks like, and it's like, I'm going to come down there, Cobb County, Georgia, and I'm going to whoop your ass, and Cody's like, I'm dashing.
I am the man now. I am your worst nightmare.
I am your American nightmare. I think it's going to be a good match, especially since they finally did the stipulation with I Quit. I think it's going to be a good match. It's good to help solidify Cody even more because it shows that he has more than just one match in him, which is a one fall match. And this is going to take a little bit more effort with the resilient, phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
Yeah, because I know you and I were a little concerned with them going back to this well after they just kind of sucked it dry, in my opinion. But the fact they added that stipulation, like you mentioned, adds that level of dimension that we haven't seen with Cody since he's fought Roman. He's going to have to dig a lot deeper in order to put AJ away because he's like, it's all I got. I ain't got nothing to lose. And, I mean, who knows, with Gallows and Anderson seemingly with him, maybe you'll see them come out and lend AJ a helping hand. I don't know.
Cody is the son of a plumber, baby. He's a son of a plumber.
He's the son of the plumber.
if you will, Daddy.
Oh
But
God.
yeah, I think it's going to be a decent match now that they have a stipulation on it. I think if it was just another wrestling match, we people would just okay, whatever. This is the best we're going to get. And because honestly, if they didn't put a stipulation on it, I think Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest match would actually overshadow this match.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically, I don't know if you heard the Drew McIntyre match is going to be the main event.
Yeah,
So with that being said, it still gives Cody's title some legitimacy. I did hear, and I have the quote here on my phone here, that apparently there's some officials that aren't really too keen with how Cody Rhodes' title has been going. So from the Wrestling Blog, it is reported that some WWE officials behind the administration are not very happy after a few months of Cody becoming champion. Ratings, viewership, and some merchandise sales are said to be not very satisfactory. Now,
interesting.
I could have told you that one because he's there's no legitimate real stories here that are really I feel like sticking with people. Um, I mean, you go AJ to Logan to AJ because you really are lacking any top contenders. So you're like again, you're treading water.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, the fact that apparently some backstage people are not too happy. What do you think? I mean, do you think that made them add in the I Quit match to kind of up the ante a little bit?
I I don't know where they're getting their numbers from, bro, because just the SmackDown that I went to with my kids to during the draft, dude, that's Cody Rhodes shirts were almost sold out. So I'm like, how can you say that Cody isn't selling merchandise and it's been lackluster? Well, let's give him an opponent that isn't AJ Styles.
Right.
You know, maybe it's not Cody's fault. Maybe it's who's booking this shit. You know what I mean?
Right, and I'm 100% with you because, like I said, I've been making this claim before. Like Cody's been done a big disservice
Yeah,
by the way that they're booking him, and I honestly wonder if maybe to mask that a little bit. I mean, maybe he's selling out merchandise, but maybe they're just not having as much so that it looks like he's selling out to
it's
try to help.
possible.
That's possible. I mean,
I mean, I've got in my own closet, I got two Cody Rhodes shirts. You know, so I mean, it's besides what I bought for my kids, my rest of my family's got Cody shirts. I mean, I don't I just think that I think he's definitely the face of the company. There's no question. But I just think it boils down to bad booking. I mean, because you don't have anybody that can step up to the plate and give a good match like somebody like an AJ Styles could. So, especially that's on SmackDown anyway, you've got plenty of talent on Raw that you could bring in and be able to face him. I mean, you could have Braun Breaker or anybody else come in and give a hell of a match.
well, yeah, I mean, he's already fought Carmelo Hayes. It's one of SmackDown's number one draft picks. Roman's out. Lashley's out. I mean, I haven't really seen Randy. Like Kevin Owens has been there, but he's with the
With the
Blood
bloodline. Yeah.
currently. So it's like, who do you have left besides like maybe a guy like Karrion Cross? But they're not putting him in that kind of position right now.
We're not. He's kind of
And
playing like mediator to AOP, which makes
which
no sense.
no, it's a waste. It's wasting his talent because he is an antagonist. He's violent and vicious, and I feel like now would be the time to take a guy who's been floundering ever since he came up from NXT, the two times that he has prior, and you give him a shot and see if he can sink or swim with the champ. I
Well,
mean,
let's face it. I mean, Carrion has got the flashy. manager in Scarlett.
Yep.
So right there, you've got one good element. He's good on the mic.
When they allow him
He's
to talk now, I mean,
yeah, and he's good in the ring. So what's stopping a Triple H or somebody backstage from saying, okay, let's go ahead and let's give Karrion a run and let's see what he can do. I mean, it's there's nobody else. I mean,
literally.
let's face it. I mean, after AJ, who's Cody gonna get into a brawl with? I mean, unless we go back to the old Super Show days where you can cross over and everything, I don't see another opponent on SmackDown unless Orton pops up in the picture or KO or somebody. But they've been fighting with, like you said, fighting with the bloodline too much.
The only thing I can think of is that eventually, whenever they debut, is you have the Wyatt Six
Yeah.
after him. I mean, literally, other than that, what do you got?
Well, remember
Unless,
what Bray did. He would always take something from somebody's past and apply it, like he did with Cena and did with Seth Rollins. And,
yep.
he could go back to the Stardust and the dashing Cody Rhodes with the face mask and back to their staple with Randy Orton.
Legacy.
And, you could go back to those things and be able to make a mesmerizing tale out of Cody Rhodes, and which would be great. But when the hell are we going to get the Wyatt Six?
Dude, I just thought of this as you were talking. Could you imagine Bray Wyatt, Cody Rhodes, Firefly Funhouse?
Oh,
That would have been amazing, like you did with Cena. That would have been killer.
yes.
I mean, we're not ever going to see that, but it just if you can bring some of those elements that Bray used to do with the Wyatt Six, if you're really going to honor his legacy, do it right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. NXT is looking more and more interesting.
It is, but that's okay because they really need to be able to give that aspect of what it used to be back with Joe and Ciampa and Gargano and
Cole.
Cole and all that. I mean, that's when NXT was at its height. You had Asuka, you had Io Sky. I mean,
Bobby
just
Roode, baby.
Bobby Roode. I mean, the glorious one. I see NXT coming back up to its fame that allotted to it in that first title match between Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal. That was the start of an era that you can see that the people are getting trained better again, that their mic skills are getting better, which we'll get into NXT in a bit. But you've got some guys down there now that's got some experience, and they're definitely going to be making some headway. No question about it.
Yeah, but let's go to our main event match here. Damian
Dog versus Jason Momoa.
The Wish versions. Oh man, if you can see this graphic, I don't know why Damian Priest has the dreads
rolling down the street. Okay, anyway.
So you got world champion Damian Priest going up against the hometown boy.
Oh yeah,
Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. I'd be hard pressed not to see like Drew win this match, but I can easily see CM Punk not being around anymore in the background.
Yeah.
Him costing McIntyre the title. Maybe just giving Priest a decent run to SummerSlam when Gunther slaps the shit out of him.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just inevitable. So I don't want really to see Drew have 2 short title reigns because I feel like he deserves more than that. And he'll eventually get his title run again. But I see Priest retaining the title, probably due to a Punk interference, to kind of start that feud heading towards SummerSlam. What say you, good sir?
Well, I agree with it, but man, how awesome would it be to have a Drew versus Gunther match again? Oh my God.
I mean, that would be a banger, but
It would be a banger, and but
I don't
but I
want
think if you're gonna give Gunther the title, you got to make him be dominant, and he could probably be even more dominant against Damian Priest.
Oh yeah.
And so I agree with you. They're going to probably give him a little bit more of a run, and that will kind of solidify his run. And then, of course, lose the title at SummerSlam. But I would love to have Drew back as champion because he got us through COVID, and he did a hell of a job. And I just don't like Damian Priest as champion. He's doing better as of late, and he's kind of taken that leadership role a little bit more. But I still just don't like him as champion.
No, I mean he kind of, for lack of a better example, it kind of reminds me of Randy Orton's initial run. Like it didn't go, I don't think, as well as people planned. Um, and they kind of expected more. I mean, I expected more out of Damian Priest, but I think again with the Rhea Ripley effect, the Judgment Day is just kind of floundering right now with
I
relevant.
don't I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have breaking news.
Oh, do
This
tell.
is this is from Tony Khan's Twitter
Oh,
X.
you know what? I'm gonna keep eating my mac and cheese, everybody. If you can see me on the stream.
This,
Oh my god.
this is absolutely the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. He goes, hashtag AEW Rampage right after Empire Strikes Back tonight on TNT. From the Millennium Falcon fleeing Bespin to timeless Tony Storm. Plus, don't miss Saturday night AEW Collision 1 year anniversary show tomorrow. Darth Vader plus Christian for Peeps. Big Father's Day AEW weekend here on TNT.
Man, this guy is good. He is so
Oh God.
not care. By the way, Tony, I'm still waiting on a response, you dickwad.
So don't miss Rampage and Collision, okay? Because Tony Khan said that it's right after Empire Strikes Back.
And he's gonna be probably running out there swinging his lightsaber at everybody. Come here, guys! Tony, I am your father.
Let me do Christian Peeps. Oh my God. I'm just like, why would you even tweet that, man?
Because he has nothing better to do with himself. He literally acts like he's a 10-year-old in his mom's basement that just thinks he's funny. I don't get it. I don't.
Agreed. Why'd they put Jey Uso on this anyway?
I don't know. I mean,
Do we think that that the triple threat for tag team women's championship, that do we see Bianca and Jade losing those belts and starting their feud, or is it going to take till SummerSlam for that to happen?
unfortunately, I'm gonna guess SummerSlam. But if they were to lose, who do you think they would lose them to, though?
Well, I mean, Abba Fire and
Isla Dawn.
Aladon, yeah, I just went brain dead. They would be good champions. They're a little freaky, but they would be good champions. I don't think that Shayna Baszler and Zoe is. I don't think that they're championship material.
I mean, especially after Shayna got the dog shit beat out of her by Lola Vice at Battleground.
Absolutely.
That was a badass match. But I mean that to me, the way they booked that was not smart. If because I mean, it gives Lola the rub. I no problems with that.
Yeah,
However, you're now putting Shayna in a tag team title match,
yeah,
and she does not look strong in my opinion coming out of that
no,
and putting her in a tag team title match. Like Zoe Stark really hasn't been relevant in a while. Shayna
no,
Baszler has been relevant in a while. Lost in NXT's pay per view, PLE, whatever you want to call it. So, like, I mean, yeah, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire kind of stick out as the ones who could do it, but I just don't see them taking it off of Jade and Bianca.
they're
I'm waiting for it. I'm
they're
waiting for.
they're very charismatic, and I like the whole dark, ominous presence that they both have. But I don't know if this is going to be the right time to take straps off. I don't. I think that Bianca and Jade are too hot right now, and I think that if they're going to create a feud with them, they're going to have to build it up a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think if you want like a big pop moment, SummerSlam's the perfect opportunity to do it. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like if they lose the match, even if if they win and Bianca makes it all about herself, I could easily see Jade snapping
yeah,
and just leaving her high and dry, or just hanging in the middle of the ring at the end of the match. Everyone's like, "What the fuck just happened?"
yeah,
Because we all know Jade at her core, like Randy Orton, she is a heel to the core.
yes.
Can't trust her. I
But
mean,
haven't they been wanting to turn Bianca heel for quite some time now?
yeah, but to me, she's almost kind of like the female John Cena at this point. Like it's just,
That's true. That's a good
she's,
point.
I mean, she's too good with the kids and merchandise and all these, Make a Wish stuff that it doesn't make sense for them business wise to do that.
Yeah.
As much as we'd all love to see it, I don't know if they're ever going to do that.
What about the Intercontinental title setup? What do you think about that?
Well, to me, that's all dependent on the Gable contract, like we talked about last week. I haven't heard any news about it, like
Mhm.
nothing. It's been radio silence, so I don't know if he's got a contract or if he doesn't. I do think he deserves it. I do think you would add more to a storyline if they had Gable as champion and you kind of slowly build Otis up to maybe eventually taking down his master, Chad Gable, and kind of liberating Maxine and Tozawa. I think that's more of a story than Sammy trying to interject in the Alpha Academy stuff just because he
Every
wants.
week.
I mean, it's nauseating, like at nauseum. This guy is like, Otis, come on, you're better than that. Like you can't let him do this to you. Like it's annoying. It's
Yeah.
so annoying. So I just want the Sami Zayn crap to end because he's not Usi anymore, and
No.
I don't.
No. I'm ready for a Chad Gable title reign.
Absolutely.
I am.
I mean, he's long overdue. He's doing his best work of his career, um, and I mean, just needs it at this
Yeah.
point.
What else do we have on the card?
Oh man, there's there's not many matches. I feel like we might
No.
have. Yeah. So for big PLE in Scotland, I'm surprised we don't have more on the card. You know what I mean?
I don't know why Logan Paul's not doing anything with his title.
I mean,
Or is
why would he? I mean,
I mean
LA
it's
Knight.
you got two tag team champions. I mean it's going to be a decent PLE, but
Oh, how could we forget Bailey and Piper Niven for
oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was
right?
like, wait a minute, there's a match that
I don't know.
I don't think there's any way that Piper's going to win that match, but it would be kind of cool if she did.
So, to me, it's too predictable. If you're gonna book all the, I'll call them international stars because they're not in the U.S.
Yeah,
To just win out in Scotland, like
yeah.
I don't foresee it happening. Piper, as good as she is in the ring, I don't think she's ready for a world title yet. You know, Bayley's Bayley. She's not gonna drop her belt to Piper at Clash of the Castle. I think Bayley's gonna come out, much to the chagrin of Piper and Chelsea Green. But what say you? Do you think it? I mean, it's even going to be much of a match?
There'll be some decent spots in it, and I mean, and we'll see Piper use her size as an advantage, and we'll see Bayley. I don't think she's going to do any kind of belly to Bayley on Piper, but I mean, I think it's going to boil down to maybe a roll up, maybe something of that nature to quick pin to get out of the match.
I think it'd be an epic spot if they had Piper Niven desperate, try to go to the top rope to do some type of just killer splash, and Bayley just run up kind of like Braun Breaker, and just Bayley the belly off the.
That would be dope.
Off of that and just end it there because that'd be an epic spot. Piper doesn't look weak at all, and Bayley trudges forward.
Yeah, again, I think it's gonna be a great. I mean, I've been to Scotland within the last year, and it is probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, and I can just imagine what this crowd's going to be like because they don't get much wrestling events, and it's going to be off the hook. I mean, I don't. Well, I think they're going to be Philadelphia, probably not, but this crowd will still be very hot, and
I think it's going to be France-esque.
Yeah,
because I love the fact that they're going to these different countries and having these PLEs. I think it really gives you the big fight feel that they want. And I know they're going to continue with it, and I think it's going to do them a lot of good in the long run.
I could not agree more.
I think, and I'm just throwing this out there and seeing if it sticks. Maybe at the end of the Bayley match, we see a Charlotte return.
See, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, could we see Charlotte come back because she's ready? She's ready.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it. I feel like it would be more. What's the word I'm looking for? More likely to happen if it like a Tiffany Stratton or somebody out and attack Bayley after the match. Seems more likely to me. But speaking of women's champions,
I love this. I love this segment. Loved it.
Has Mommy been taken off the top?
Yes.
Is Liv on top now?
Well, she was on top of Dominic. Let's put it that way.
I mean, was she ever non-PG? I mean, good Lord. I'm like, they're actually allowing this to air. This is nuts. This is nuts because Liv literally got bumped. If you didn't see it, Liv got bumped off of the apron.
Yeah.
Onto Dom. And she was mounting him.
Yes.
That's literally what it was. And I'm like, they're really pushing this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, as the graphic is showing it started off the night with Liv giving Dominic her hotel key, and it just turned into this kind of comical thing between Judgment Day and Dominic tells them she gave me her hotel key. Carlito turns around and goes, "That's cool." And so it just goes throughout the night.
But if you see in the right graphic, Finn Balor takes the hotel card away.
Yes, he does.
And
bros before hoes, man.
I know a lot of the trolls are going to be like, "Oh, Finn took the card. He's going to go." No, Finn took the card because he's protecting Dom because he doesn't want Dom anywhere near Liv
Yeah.
because of Rhea. We all know that. I
Yeah.
just thought it was cool that someone caught that because I remember looking at the table right before we went to commercial. I'm like, wait, the table's empty. Where's the card?
Yeah.
So I'm glad somebody caught that because that is cool. And this story, as much as I'm not liking the Judgment Day, Liv is keeping them relevant.
Oh yeah.
And she is making this story so much fun because literally you don't know what Liv is going to try next, how much she's going to push. So whenever Rhea Ripley comes back, they're going to have a long program.
Oh, it's going to be a long, long story to tell. But again, Finn Balor, the perfect definition of bros before hoes, man.
Literally, he is. But I just wish they would make Dom more of a threat. It bothers me how wussy they're making him.
He looks more like Eddie Guerrero every week.
He does. I mean, from the head up, yes, he ain't even close to him physically, man.
No, there's no way. Maybe Eddie in WCW.
Maybe, but even then, Eddie was defined. Ray is more defined than Dom is. Dom's literally just skin and bones. Does this man even lift? Somebody tell me. Does this man even lift?
I'm one of the few people that is a Dominic fan. I love it. I love the fact that he is one of the biggest heels in the entire company. And this whole Liv situation makes me like him even more because he's having a tough time. And like most men, they would have a tough time picking between Liv and Rhea.
I mean, yeah, that's a little coin flip for me. Like,
yeah,
either way, you're good, but you're gonna piss one woman off. You don't.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Dom. I just wish he was more of a. I mean, he's not a physical specimen by any means, but I just wish they would give him some type of credibility in the ring. Is really all.
Yeah, I'll agree 100%.
Finally, I think I'm Nostradamus this week.
You are.
I'm Nostradamus.
You are.
I call Ricochet, go to sleep, rest in peace.
Yeah.
And he's finally been written off of television because Breaker powerbombed him through a car window.
And the weird thing about it is Punk got pissed about it on Twitter.
I saw that. I don't get why.
Well, he said because this is why they will not rent cars to wrestlers, because they do stuff like that.
What?
I mean that's like saying that you don't rent a car to Reed Timmer because he's a storm chaser and he's going to be in a hailstorm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like you get the insurance package, bro. They can take that and get it fixed. It's no big deal.
Right, like that's why they have insurance on these things, and I'm sure they know that. Like if WWE's like, "Hey, I need a car for a segment," I'm sure they know what it's going to be used for, and just call Safelite, you'll be fine.
I mean, Punk is turning into straight edge to curve edge because he's losing his edge a little bit.
And I mean, like, I don't want to go too far off topic, but it's almost like he's trying too hard to be liked, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, just be you, man. Just be you. But back to this. So obviously, what led to Ricochet getting killed? Not literally, but figuratively killed.
Yeah.
Off of WWE programming because he's not going to resign. He already asked for his release. He's going to be gone. This is just writing him off television.
Good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's legit. I mean, if Braun Breaker put me through a car, I ain't going back for anything. Damn sure. But none of this was a pay-per-view style match between Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is worth the probably 15, 20 minutes it was on.
Yes.
It was a great match. And we know per this story, Ilya and Ricochet are buddies, and they're just trying to take down the evil Braun Breaker. and Ilya came up short. Ricochet attacked Braun Breaker after Breaker was trying to do more damage to Ilya, which then led Braun Breaker to end Ricochet's WWE existence. So,
dude, is he turning more into Scott than he is Rick at this point?
probably.
I can see both of them in his repertoire. You can
Yeah,
tell.
yeah. I mean, he's a good hybrid of the two, but I mean, he's definitely more of his uncle than his father. Um, One, I don't think he's gonna utter any racial slurs anytime soon. Um, Number one, and number two, I mean, he's got literally all the tools known to man. So I mean,
Yes.
just to this guy, the sky is the limit. I see a Kurt Angle / Brock Lesnar like rise to stop. He's gonna have a title soon.
Yeah.
Matter of, I mean, hey, maybe we have worst case scenario if Chad Gable loses and Sammy wins, maybe Breaker can kill Sammy. Can we ask for that?
Yeah.
Which now leads us into the next obvious question. If you didn't know, Samantha Irvin and Ricochet are engaged.
Yeah.
So one begs to differ, with John Moxley when he went to AEW. When Renee's contract up, she wasn't far behind. Everyone wondering what is going to be Samantha Irvin's future.
Yeah.
Um, I personally don't think she's going anywhere, mainly because I feel like WWE, they had that with Renee because Renee was literally everything. She was their point woman while she was there. Um, and I feel like they felt her loss for a while. And given the impact that Samantha has, I feel like she's happy here.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna let her go at all. I think whatever she wants, they're gonna accommodate her with, as they should. Um, but what say you? Because I mean, I could go on and on about this, but
I think that she will probably stay just for the simple fact is if Ricochet does go to AEW, they've got Justin Roberts
yep.
already. And Justin, unless he wants her to take over like Rampage or Collision or something of that nature, I don't see her going anywhere.
Well, I mean, she's in the top company. She's the main ring announcer. Um, and I don't see them losing an asset that she is because, like we talked about with Aaron Rose a couple months back, she brings that added element to the shows that get you invested or uninvested in these characters. She is a part of the puzzle that is intricate that I feel like would, at least for me, because I'm a very detail oriented person, would just kind of bring the quality down because
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Mike Rome. I never really have been. I feel like
He's got great hair.
that's about it. He tries too damn hard. He
Yeah.
tries too hard, and when you're in this business, you just gotta let it go. If you're trying too hard, at least in my opinion, you don't do your best. And I mean, she's unequivocally the best they got, and if they lose that, I feel like the quality goes down.
I agree. I agree 100%. And it's just a matter of time until WWE is going to get to the point where they're not going to let this stuff happen anymore.
No.
I mean, let's face it. Let's break into one thing that you shared with me before we jump into NXT.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The rumors of Hikuleo, which is another one of Haku's kids, the Gorillas of Destiny's younger brother. So I'll just read this for all y'all who are listening. After losing at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion, Hikuleo is expected to join WWE as a future member of the Bloodline. Hikuleo is another one of Haku's sons who would be a logical fit along Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga. Hikuleo's New Japan contract was originally expiring in January, but got extended to June. WWE has expressed interest in him in the past, but is now expected to immediately join as a part of a new Bloodline angle.
We have the NWO, but full of family members.
I mean, at least that makes sense.
Yeah.
The NWO at that point literally made no sense. It honestly didn't. Like, if you weren't in the NWO, you were in WWE
Yes.
essentially. But to me, this answers the question of where Jacob Fatu lies.
Absolutely. Yeah, it solidifies
have
it.
him join Solo and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, his brothers. It only makes sense that Jacob Fatu is going to come in with Roman and the Usos.
Yeah.
And that's going to be your OG bloodline versus your new bloodline and where that lies. So that essentially answers my question. Now it's a matter of when is this all happening?
Yeah.
Like, to me, I feel like you got to add, like, you got to start the Roman side. You got to start building that up because right now you're going to get everybody set here, but then set for what? You got to have something that they're working towards. And I feel like Hikuleo, he would be the perfect last element to add into this thing. But I feel like you got to start building Roman's side up. Now, as of right now, it seems like they're going to wait till July when he comes back for him to do this, which to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever.
He's jacked right now, dude. I saw a picture of him.
I know.
Absolutely jacked.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it's when's Jimmy coming back? How I'm interested to see how they're going to make all this work because you got a lot of moving parts.
Where does Jay fit in? Because you still got the animosity.
Right, like, are you going to see Roman? Because Roman's technically a free agent. You could see him go back and forth on Raw and SmackDown and maybe eventually sign. But yeah, it'll be interesting because he's not with anyone currently. So that may be a way they could, get this thing rolling because him, Jacob, whenever he debuts, like at some point you got to bring them all together. And right now it's a little uncertain of how they're going to do that.
Yeah. Well, Roman told us a long time ago this has just started.
I mean, we are literally watching the marvel of professional wrestling, the Marvel story of professional wrestling. And it is exciting to have this type of long-term storyline happen because it just gives it a different feel than what we've seen prior.
Well, we had a fun thing happen in NXT this week.
we got a little AEW reunion.
Yeah, we got a little AEW reunion. A little bit of Cody, Sean, Ethan, and Brian, and it was kind of nice to see those guys back around each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think a lot of them probably ride up and down the roads together, and being in AEW and coming to NXT, they have a familiarity. They're all feeling the same kind of things, emotions, and everything. So I'm pretty sure they're around each other a lot just for moral support. And then the fact that Cody was there as the WWE champion, and he said, "You know what? Y'all are in a good place." I feel like that was a perfect shot at them.
Yes.
It was a perfectly said line because it wasn't too over the top, but it was subtle enough that if you knew what he was talking about. And he's like, "Yeah, guys, y'all are in a good place."
NXT was just great Tuesday. And not only did we see the AEW reunion, with Cody, Shawn Spears, Ethan Page, and then Brian Pillman Jr., which is now Lexus King. But you also had a passing of the torch that took place with JC Jane, where Cody Rhodes gave her the dashing Cody Rhodes face mask.
It was beautiful.
And that was kind of a handing of a torch, man, that I'm like, wow, I did not expect that.
No, I mean, I figured it'd kind of be, the Trick Williams thing, understandable. The AEW thing, I just thought that was cool because I wasn't expecting that to happen. But then for him to go as far as give her the dashing mask, it's kind of like, hey, I've shed this skin. This is yours now. Just give him back.
Let's hope he watched it. Cody Cooties.
We got Cody Crybabies and Cody Cooties.
Cody Cooties. We're going to start something here. But I did like that. It was kind of a passing the torch because JC is doing a great job, and she's getting better every week. But, God forbid, these women are going to step up, and they're, like I said, they're going to start outshining the men. They already started it with Perez, and just the matter of
Roxanne is out of this world. She is amazing.
Oh, she got rocked though Tuesday night, man. That was almost a shoot.
I know.
That was almost a shoot.
But I've been growing to like her week in and week out. Just you see the growth. She's young. I'm pretty sure she's 25 or under. Honest.
Oh yeah.
She is young, but she's good already.
Yeah.
And I would rather pay Monet to see Roxanne wrestle than, Mercedes.
I would too. And
because they're similar sizes.
Yeah.
But Roxanne is just better than ring. I feel like, Mercedes, not to go too far off topic, she doesn't really do much to me. It's the same 3-4 moves that she does, and she doesn't excite me. Like her match against I can't think of who she wrestled from CMLL. But the chick from CMLL, to me, was wrestling circles around Mercedes. But because she's Mercedes, no one can touch her. And let's gain QR codes to get more Monet. I don't want to do that. But, yeah, NXT is really firing up. To me, it's starting to rival SmackDown as far as the content and who you got. Cause
agreed.
Anybody right now. So it's nice to see, again, the main roster talent giving the NXT guys and gals some rubs, because I feel like it gives NXT more legitimacy that way.
It does.
Versus just seeing them as a training ground and they're, they're not ready. And no, they're ready and they're getting acknowledged.
Let's take a look at the SmackDown preview for tonight, since we're getting
we're 12 go time.
Yeah, almost go time with it. So we've got Cody and AJ prepare for their I Quit match, which we knew was going to happen. And looks like that we have Kevin Owens against Solo Sikoa, which is turning into Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar-ish.
Literally.
Naomi and Chelsea Green. And DIY set to invade the Grayson Waller effect, which I would love to see DIY win the straps.
Seriously,
it would be really nice.
Can I just point out, Naomi's taking Chelsea to Glasgow. Really?
Yeah.
That's just it's such a wasted filler match. That just tells me how depleted SmackDown is. So you're having Chelsea Green and Naomi as one of your future. Oh my god!
But to kind of take a hold of Chelsea, I mean, I've met Chelsea. She's a great person, a great worker. It's just she's so accident prone, and I think that's where a lot of things happen. Is that people get scared that she's going to get hurt again and everything, but she's got better in the ring. It's just I think sometimes her character over exceeds what she's doing in the ring.
Right, because I mean, like full disclosure, I'm a big Chelsea Green fan.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of her autographed rookie cards from when she was in NXT. Like I'm a big fan of hers. Her character, like you mentioned, is kind of what does it. Like her character is kind of not doing her any favors compared to her ring talent. Um, and it's kind of just putting her in just the limbo of these filler matches, and
Yeah.
it's lines that really don't make much sense. So I mean, if they can fix that, I think she'd be golden. But
If SmackDown can pull themselves into what Raw is doing, they will not be considered a glorified house show. And I'm afraid that's what SmackDown is becoming, is a glorified house show.
which is unfortunate, given you have your WWE champion, part of the biggest main event of all time. Because you booked him poor, you drafted guys who are injured. I don't know how they were even allowed to be on the thing. Um, and to this day, it makes no sense to me how they made this big thing about where's Braun Breaker going to sign. And he signs with SmackDown, and 2 months later he gets drafted to Raw. I'm like, SmackDown for years, you know this as well as I do, has always been where the great young talent prove themselves.
Yeah.
Historically speaking, when Ray had come in, Chris and Eddie, they were obviously seasoned, but they needed to prove themselves. And at that point, more people had their eyes on Raw than SmackDown, which I feel like is kind of the case since Roman hasn't been there. So that's a perfect opportunity to build those guys up. Like Ilya, Braun, I think should have been on SmackDown because Raw just has way too many people, comparatively speaking, and you're seeing it with the shows we're getting.
Yeah.
And hey, where's Logan Paul? Where is Logan Paul? LA Knight's looking for him, but he
sucks. That's why.
I mean, we talk about having fighting champions, and like I'm one of the biggest Brock Lesnar fans you'll meet. I wasn't a fan of the part-time champion thing, but why are they now making it okay for Logan Paul to do it when everyone was shitting on Lesnar for it? It doesn't make sense at all.
Well, I want us to go into our final thoughts because we do have a big announcement.
We do.
That we have got set. My final thoughts is this. For Clash of the Castle, you will have a new world champion. I'm just going to go on record. Drew McIntyre will defeat Damian Priest. And I know that we've went through that a lot this evening, but the more and more I think about it, one of the international people have got to leave with a title. It has to happen. And if you're booking it, Drew McIntyre seems to be the number one person to do that. Now, if I'm wrong, I will come back next week and say that I'm wrong. But it just feels like that Drew is going to do what he needed to do by helping us during COVID. He deserves another shot as champion. Tiffany Stratton could be champion by SummerSlam. We'll see.
All right.
Because I think that there's still a niche in the air for Tiffany Stratton. And I think that Bayley will hand the torch off to her at some point because she, to me, is the number one needle mover for that brand. And I think she moves the needle more than Bayley does.
I mean,
bold statements. I know, bold statements.
Yeah, I mean, and for all your points, I can definitely make cases for them. Like, yes, it obviously makes sense for Drew to win because they're in Glasgow. He's been heating up since before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He just seems to keep going and going and going. I just feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they've kind of pigeonholed themselves in a point where we know Gunther is going to be the champion at SummerSlam.
Oh yeah,
that's almost written in. I mean, I could write it in Sharpie. But then you're giving Drew less than 2 months title reign after you just gave him a 5-minute reign at Mania.
But what if CM Punk calls him the title at SummerSlam?
I mean, sure,
and then you'll have that rivalry all the way into Royal Rumble.
But at the same time, I don't think Gunther needs that, and I don't want that to potentially hurt Gunther's momentum because he's beating people clean. He needs no interferences. At this point, he's already proven that with his over 600-day reign as Intercontinental Champion. I mean, it's possible. I just don't see it happening because I think it's going to hurt Gunther. Possibly.
We will see, Tommy. We will see.
We'll see tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern?
2 p.m. Eastern. Do you want to jump into your final thoughts or you want to jump into the announcement?
No, I'll do my final thoughts. I want to build the anticipation for this big announcement because it is pretty big.
It is.
It is definitely pretty big. But I'm going completely different company. I'm going to AEW.
Okay.
Because there wasn't really much to talk about in AEW this week, but if you watched AEW Wednesday Dynamite, you'll know what I'm saying when I say this. And it's going to sound crazy. However, we need Will Ospreay to save us. Now, you may be thinking, if you've watched the show, Tommy, you're not a huge fan of Will Ospreay because of some of the things he said, and you're right, I'm not. But I'm also a bigger hater of Swerve Strickland. And we've been both vocal about that.
We have.
I feel like Will Ospreay is getting over in the States since he's been here. I'm pretty sure they showed us he's 16-0 in AEW. He hasn't lost a match. And I think for him to lose to Swerve Strickland, to me, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever because Will Ospreay can sleep and do laps around Swerve Strickland in the ring.
Yes.
I don't like Swerve Strickland's character. I more so I really hate the guy who walks out with him and does his stupid ass dances. it makes my blood boil. Okay, but my big thing is Will Ospreay. What are you doing? Don't do that. I need the bruv to come in clutch at Forbidden Door and be a double champion. Because essentially Will Ospreay to me is filling the void in the ring of Kenny Omega.
Absolutely.
Because he can pull off Kenny Omega style matches. He can pull off he can be the best bout for bout machine if you want him to be. So AEW needs to give Will Ospreay that belt because I think Will Ospreay, if they just let him do his thing and not let him talk about WWE, can actually lift up AEW in their time of need. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but just seeing the reaction he got and the match he had with Rey Fenix, which was incredible.
Yes.
I just think we need a little more Will Ospreay in our lives to get rid of this Swerve stink that we have.
I agree. I cannot agree with that statement more.
And again, I never thought I'd say that. However, here we are. But on to the big announcement. Next week, we are going to have a special, in-depth, investigative look into the Chris Benoit tragedies. Because we're coming up on the 17-year anniversary of that weekend. So next week, we are going to break it all down, have some kind of, you can call them conspiracy theories. I'll just call them alternative things that could have happened. It's going to be very controversial because, I mean, this man's the epitome of controversy. I mean,
no
say
question.
his name and people have an opinion whether you watch wrestling or not. I feel like everyone knows the name Chris Benoit because of the tragedy. So we're going to break that down. I'm not going to say which way I'm leaning on this, but
no, I'm not doing it till the show.
You're going to want to watch.
Yeah.
Depending, it might be more of a 2-episode thing. It might have to go 2 episodes because of all the stuff we can talk about and all the different angles go with it. But that is our big announcement. We're gonna
YRW controversy.
Literally, we are going to create more controversy.
Man, I'm pumped about this because it's a topic that nobody wants to talk about anymore.
No,
it's like it's blackballed or something to even speak the name Chris Benoit.
Because, like, I'll give you a little preview because, in my opinion, when you talk about a guy like this, you have to separate, in my opinion, the wrestling side from the personal side. Because they don't intersect for me. Because who he is in the ring is completely different from who he is outside.
We've already started the controversy.
And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say is at some point you got to separate the man from the professional wrestler.
People have already gasped.
Gasp all you want. Don't hold it too long. That's all I'm going to say. Because this is going to be must see and must listen.
Yes.
All you podcast listeners.
So next week, guys, we start the Chris Benoit series here on YRW, and you want to be tuned for that. Just trust me.
You are not going to want to miss it.
No.
We're going to make sure you don't miss it because we are going to be posting all week about it because we are excited. We've been waiting weeks now to share this and finding the right time, and coming up on 17 years seems like the right time to me. So
yeah,
just stay tuned for that. We'll be back 7 o'clock next week till whenever we decide to go off.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a barn burner of an episode.
It is. Well, folks, that is it for tonight. Make sure to watch Clash at the Castle tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. And let's see if I come back with my ass tucked between my legs for all of my predictions. Same for Tommy. So we'll see what happens next week. But for Yankee Tommy, I'm Rebel Brian, and you have just got beat to death again and powerbombed by Yankee Rebel Wrestlecast. We will see you guys next week.